How's it going? Hi, Abdul. How are you? Sound and everything working all right? Hi, Donald. Hater. Nigel. Oh, good. Sounds good. Great. Owen. Okay. We can get started. There's not a whole lot that I've got, but let me go over what I do have. Hi, Jay. Um, Steve, how are you? This morning, why this morning? I don't know. I think it was Mike Newsbomber was 1 foot out the door on the way to starting his vacation, but he sent me our current account. Our current account is 11,697 Swiss francs. These reflect the charges that Mike has had for taking care of for being basically our financial Swiss financial representative, and he's keeping track of all of the VAT that this will be getting the VAT back on the number two, and we'll have to figure out what to do with that. I'll talk about that in a second. Now, there were some people who decided for one reason or another they wanted to leave um, Lyrique, and they would like to get whatever is left in their account back. And basically, it's 167.1 Swiss francs per watt. So if you had one watch, it would be 167. If you had two, it'd be double that, and so forth. In dollars, I didn't do the conversion to everything else, but that's $191.49, and this doesn't include the bank charges. So here's what I think we could do for people wanting what's left of their account, and they're no longer a member of Lyrique. As soon as Mike gets back from vacation, what we can do is let me know if you want your money back and you want out of Lyrique. And what I'll do, I'll send to Mike the amount that a person would be owed, and plus the names of those who would like to leave and like their money back. Hater, right now there's two I know of, and one may not be sure. So I mean, it's not like a flood or anything like that. But different people go off in different directions. So here's what we can do. If you do, if you would like to leave Lyrique and get your money back, just shoot me an email, let me know, and then when I get everybody's, and if you could do this within the next month, okay, or the next couple of weeks, actually would be even better. What I'll do is that I'll send that information, the people who would like, and how much they're due because of the number of watches they got, to Mike, and then those who would like it can send Mike directly their whatever bank they want it transferred to. So that'll make it pretty simple, I think. also too, I hate to handle other people's bank accounts, and so by doing it directly with Mike and the bank, that would work out well. Okay, any questions about that? Okay, if you have one, you can pop it up at any time. Let me move right along here. Etude number 3 is filling up pretty quickly with both from this group, the original group, the OGs, the people in number 2, a lot of them want it, and then a lot of new guys want it. So we've got, it's, like I said, it's filling up. So if the way I have it set up is that when we come down to the point where people are going to be contacted and it's time to start, spending money. This is on etude number 3. The breakdown is going to be the guys from the original group will be first. The second ones will be the guys who are now involved in number 2, and then the new guys. Okay. Hater, why 100? Well, it'll be 102 again. 1 for the charity, and then the other one for the Grand Prix. Okay, Steve. I will. Okay. Nigel, what kind of budget we are looking for in number 3? Oh boy. I don't know. Here's what we have. I think I would really like to see if we could get a good case, a fitting case under 1,000 Swiss francs. Right now we're paying 2,000 per case, and that's a lot. Even for, so I'm going to talk to the guys at Root and Lantern. I said, if you guys can come up with something under 1,000 for our new movement, and we'd like to go with it. The dial for the second movement is also, I'd like to go back to Metal Limb for that. And because they did such a good job on the first one, and they cost a lot less. So we're paying almost $2,000 for the doggone dial with the Guilloche, and that's really high. So where we may have an upkick would be in the movement, because this time we're going to, I don't know how much they're going to have to do to what is now AGH 6802, but they're going to have to do something to put in the 24-hour dial of some sort. And that will be, there are a lot of different ways they can do that. I think there are 2 ways that look interesting right now. One, of course, is a retrograde. I don't know if they can do that or not. Again, it will all depend on the architect of the new dial. The other way that I also like is using that 3 columns, the 3 tracks, and so and then using a 3-armed hand, which is sort of a cool thing. So but who knows right now. So the budget, Nigel, I think we ought to try to get something more reasonable on the case. I know we will be able to on the dial. The same will probably be for the hands. I don't know if we go with that 3-armed hand, that'll up the dial, the hand price a little, but I don't think that's a great big thing. I've been holding off until we have an estimate of the cost of number 3. That's okay, Donald. I see. The thing is that those of you who are in the original group are going to get first priority anyway. So, once I tell you, I think the major part of the budget is as usual, is going to be the cost um, of the movement and the case. I think we can really lower the price of the dial back to our Etude number one. We'll see. Again, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I've been doing, Nigel. Yeah, Abdul. I don't know if polishing adds that much to it. I think what happened, we had that the special belt around it. I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to say, look, you guys, we want a nice, simple case, right? A nice one. And what can you do for us? I think, having teardrop lugs and stuff, that shouldn't be that expensive. They did a really nice one for Ophion with teardrop lugs, and it looked a lot like some of the Kari Boot and Lana ones. So they could have just dug up one of those and used it. And that's fine with me. But like I said, we're going to have it's going to be different. We also might have to get a little bigger case, 41 millimeters, because we're going to have that may impact it as well. Is that but if you guys want to hold off until we have a better grip on the amount, I've got a feeling that like last time, what happened, some people, once they realized how much it was, they dropped out, and that's fine. So there we go. Yeah, we want a nice looking case, but 1,000 Swiss francs, we ought to be able to get a really nice case. I think, like, oh, come on, I'll grab one of my AliExpress cases and use it. The other thing is that we're going to be, all of the financing is going to be going through the Lyrique LLC, the business account that Robert Mueller set up for us. That's located in Newark, Ohio. I have Newark. Everyone thinks New Jersey, or I guess they do. At least Americans might. But it's Newark, Ohio. And so that's where all of the money is going to go. And Robert can work that out with everybody. Then there's going to be also, we can have a Lyrique LLC VAT through the admin. That's admin assist that Mike Nussbaumer has. Right now, we're doing it through the Sandlight Swiss LLC through the same thing. So we can simply switch over. We probably are going to have two of them existing simultaneously, because when we start number 3, we may not have gotten all of the VAT back from the one that Sandlight has set up. So once we get it all back, then we can just have we can either transfer it over to Mike, we can put it into our new account, whatever we want to do with it. But I'm all for I'm all for letting somebody else handle the money. Yeah, Jay, can you make it before we begin E3 project and commit to spending significant money? Can we all agree on some basic functional prerequisite for the watch, so we're not surprised? That's what we've been doing all along. I certainly hope we can do it. But remember, okay, you're interested in this Zulu Pilot dual time watches is to be sporty, not dressy, with lumen numerals and hands. I don't know if we'll see about that. I think what we're looking at, Jay, is the sort of the ones that Patek Philippe, they're sort of the heritage look to it, that look that they have, and the one that Zenith has, and Moser, H. Moser has, and that's it's sort of sporty and dressy both. I think it more sporty than dressy, but it's I don't want to have, for God's sake, sometimes going to look like a Flieger, but that's me. You guys can make up your own minds. And a tourbillon, huh? And precious metals. Okay. Is water resistance above 50? I hope not. Yeah, we want to get a watch we all like. I mean, a look that we all like, Jay. I think everybody agrees to that. And we, so much of it, though, I mean, so much of the dial, I think while we can have sort of agree on a general look for the dial, the way in which the hands are going to work will depend on the movement. Like, one might be something that, and again, if you look at the movement that we have now, and you look at where the things are on it, let me see. We could end up with something like that. This would be a retrograde. They decided they would go down here, or we could end up with something that looks, hang on. Or something more like this, where you have simply something that goes around, and then you put a 3-armed hand on it, and for the 24 hours. We don't know yet, because we don't know what Agenor is going to be able to do with the movement. And so once we find that out. But one thing I don't like, that was suggested, is simply a little round subdial with 24 hours. I've got one of my 736s has that, and it's not very interesting. And it's hard to read. I think something that would be a lot more interesting, and because especially since we're dealing with something that we're making from the ground up, we don't have to. I mean, that's just my view on it. As far as water thing, I don't know. I got a feeling it's going to be 30 meters again. This will depend on the movement, partially the movement. If you're going to go diving in it, I wouldn't get it. I mean, it's not a diving watch. It's a pilot's watch. They go up, not down. Not a diver. I don't know why this whole thing about so many meters. The important thing, I think, about like 30 meters, it has to do with dust proofing it. That's the big thing. I don't think that I wouldn't jump in a pool with any of these good watches. I wouldn't jump into the pool with a Rolex Submariner either, but that's me. So that's like the last thing I want to worry about is that. But if you're concerned about it, we can bring it up. I think the most important thing is going to be the movement, and once we have that, then we can go to the next step. Okay, quit picking on Jay. Okay, all right. So that's pretty much where we are. Um, if I guess, I think probably everybody who is on the list for the etude number 3 should, before a final commitment is made, is do exactly what Donald and Abdul, I think, and most of the rest of us do is finding out, at least to get a very good idea of what we're getting. Abdul, in case the atmosphere, you're in a pressurized cabin, for God's sakes. I mean, if it loses pressure and your watch stops, you're in trouble. I used to fly in an unpressurized plane, and I don't know. I forgot we took it up to a certain amount before we knew we'd run out of oxygen if we went any higher. So, yeah, I think I don't know. I'm not against. I don't care if they could have it 1,000 meters for all I care. I mean, it just if it's not if it's going to cause a major expense or put in a bunch of rubber gaskets to make it look bulky, I'm not interested. I really aren't. I'm not. I mean, it's like the same thing with loom. Yeah, they could have loom, but these are things you see this in the kids table talking about those kinds of things. By the way, there is this guy who's in the Etude group. He's a business consultant, and he had some ideas for organizing Lyrique that he thought would be better for the long term. I can provide it for you. It's you can make up your own mind about it. What you think about it? I've got mine made up, but anyway, I'm not a business consultant, so anyway. Oh, God, they're coming a mile a minute. All right. Okay, what happened? Oh, that's a good question, Clyde. What happens to the number one funds? The ones that we have in the bank, we have a total of 11,697 right now. Now, this is in our Swiss bank. I'm all for leaving it there but it's going to get, with each quarter, we are getting billed for the services that Mike provides as our Swiss financial advisor. Any ideas of what you want to do with it? I think that would be great to have on hand if we make nominations, because then we get hit with a 7,000 Swiss franc charge for the watch to go on a world trip with the other ones that made nominations. I don't know. Whatever would be useful. Anybody have any ideas how we should handle it? Anything? Okay, well, I tell you what, we'll just leave it there for the time being in case we need it for something. Um, we'll have it available. I think it's a good idea to have some kind of funds, that we can rely on for those of us who are sticking with Lyrique. Yeah, I think so too, Hater. I've got 2 watches in there. So I know Clyde has 4, others of us have 1, 2, and 3 watches. So and that's everything is based on the number of watches, not the number of people. The fun is good to keep operations going. Yeah, I think so too, Abdul. I think you're right about that. Um, I don't know. There, I'll tell you though, it seems that we get these flood of people who come in and they say, "Ah, you have any E2 number ones for sale?" Says, "No, they're all gone." But I said, "Oh, but I know someone who has one for sale." Okay, and I said, "But this is sort of a figure that they're talking about." So off they go. They come back. Well, they wanted it at the figure that we had for the Grand Prix, which was I think 9,500 or something like that. Well, how come we can't get it for that much? Well, they're all gone. That's why. Yeah, there isn't, Clyde. I mean, just there was just my contribution with 4 isn't any more than somebody's with 1 or somebody's with 4. My 2 are they're just there. Anyway, okay, well look guys, if I get anything new on any of this, I don't know. I think in light of what a lot of you guys have said, I think we need to get are the twos contributing to as well? Good question. I hope very little. What I'm thinking is that if we do have any left over, we now have an option. One, I just want it out of my bank account. I know that, and I'm not being nasty about it. I just don't like other people's money. I like my money. And so I can either put it in our new bank account that uh, Robert Mueller has, our Lyrique bank account, or I can send it to our Swiss bank account. Either one is fine with me. Whatever you guys want to do, whatever. All I know is that once we're finished, we got everything paid for, and all the money's all of the expenses are paid, all of the invoices are paid, all the shipping is paid. Out it goes. Okay, either account we can put it in. So, whatever you guys want. Yeah, I see what you mean, Clyde. Yeah. Oh, we'll figure something out. I mean, like, yeah. Okay, doke. Well, listen, you guys have any other comments, questions, whatever? Let me know on our group page or on the 6801 page, wherever you want. And till next time, again, this is one we're going to do once a month with the original group, so we can sort of get an overview of things. It's sort of hard to talk about all of the things with just one of the project groups. This group is going to have to be our core group for now, for the foreseeable future, unless somebody else has some idea. And I got a bunch of them that this guy had, who's a not a financial, but a business advisor. Take care, be safe, and next month we'll have our next one unless something big comes up, okay? Also, too, I know what I was going to say. I think we need to get started on the F3 for the movement as soon as we can so we can get an estimate. And then we can let you guys know. Let me know, too. Take care.